As editor-in-chief for Ace Books, Ginjer Buchanan has worked with Charlaine Harris from day one. I recently sat down with Ginjer and we had a nice talk about Charlaine and her books. And a little bit later on in the episode, some more from Charlaine Harris, including her thoughts on True Blood. Hi Ginjer, thanks for talking to us about Charlaine Harris.
My pleasure.
So, tell us about the first time that you read a Sookie Stackhouse novel.
Well, I had a terrific young assistant at the time, a young man named John Morgan, who is now working for DC Comics. He's in charge of their online development. And the book was submitted to me, but part of the process of nurturing the junior staff is to give them projects to work on. So I asked him to take a look at the manuscript, and he loved it. But the editors have to overread things if their assistants find something they like. So he gave it to me to read, and it was just terrific. It was absolutely terrific. The voice was so compelling, the setting, and the humor in it. The setting was so also fresh and so believable, that small southern town that wasn't rendered as a stereotype, that was rendered as a very real place.
Before writing Dead Until Dark, or a Southern Fried Vampire Mystery, Charlaine was primarily a mystery author.
She was entirely a mystery writer. She had written, when she was in her 20s, 2 standalone mysteries, both set in small southern towns, both with strong women protagonists. Then an editor obviously said to her, do a series. So she wrote several books in the Aurora Tea Garden series, set in a small southern town with a protagonist who, when the series starts out, is a librarian. Did several books in that series, started a 3rd series that sort of ran concurrently, the Lily Bard series, but she considers herself a mystery writer still, and the Sookie books are all mysteries. She is doing for us an original mystery series which is set in a number of small southern towns, featuring a character named Harper Conley, who has the ability, as a result of being struck by lightning, of being able to find dead bodies, which she's turned into her business. The mystery is, how were they killed? How did they get where they were? And there's been 3 of them, and the 4th is coming in this fall.
Explain to us how her training as a mystery writer informs the writing of the Sookie Stackhouse series.
I think they're extremely well plotted. They're tight. They have a lot of forward momentum. The through story is very strong. I think that's what a good mystery writer does well. You have to do that. You have to know how to plant your clues, know how to write towards your ending, know how to convince the reader that the who that done it had reasons for doing it. And when you're doing first-person protagonist, also the reader can't know anything other than what the first-person protagonist knows, and that's sometimes a further trick to do when you're doing mysteries.
The Sookie Stackhouse novels, in addition to being part of a series, they can be read alone.
Each one stands alone as a mystery. There's always a murder, actually, in every one of the books. So they're not only mysteries, they're murder mysteries. And Sookie becomes involved in solving them as an amateur sleuth, quite frankly.
As sort of a royal advisor to Charlaine, how do you get your opinion across? If you wanted to change something in a manuscript, how do you guys, have you worked out a way to approach those sorts of things?
Charlaine is super easy to work with. I'm there to help her look at the material and shape it in the best possible way. And she's never been resistant to, editorial input in any way, shape, or form.
Is that editing process done primarily by email, on the phone?
Email these days, occasionally on the phone. We spent a good deal of time on the phone trying to figure out exactly how much fairy blood Sookie had.
Ginjer, what do you think is next for Sookie Stackhouse?
She just delivered Dead in the Family, which is next May's book. It's very much about family, and it leaves Sookie, I will say, in a better place than she was at the end of Dead and Gone, because she had been through a lot in Dead and Gone.
Charlaine doesn't like to reveal plot points of upcoming books, but she has said that she knows exactly where this series is going to end.
She does.
Do you know?
Yes.
Is it a good ending?
I think so.
That's all we're going to get out of you.
That's
right?
all you're going to get out of me.
Ginjer, tell us what's next for Charlaine Harris and what's next for Sookie Stackhouse?
Well, we'll be publishing a short story collection called A Touch of Dead, which is all of the Sookie Stackhouse short stories that have been written so far. It's a terrific little book. It has 5 or 6 two-page spread black and white pieces of art that were done by Lisa DeSemini, who is the artist who does all of the covers. I think it's going to be a really great book for any Sookie completist, and also a really great book to give for a Christmas present.
Well, thanks so much, Ginjer, for talking to us about Charlaine Harris.
It was indeed a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.